All right, everyone, ready for a deep dive into a real Halloween classic,
Ooh, yeah.
Hocus Pocus.
I love it.
It's basically become as synonymous with Halloween as trick-or-treating itself, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
You can't escape it every October.
And there's a reason for that.
Right.
It's more than just a holiday movie.
It really is.
It's like a whole phenomenon now.
Yes, yes.
I mean, you've got sequels,
You've got merchandise.
watch parties.
Oh, yeah.
It spans generations.
For sure.
Amazing.
So before we get into all of that, let's rewind
Okay.
all the way back, right,
And-
to the very beginning.
Let's do it.
1693, Salem.
Ooh, spooky.
Set the scene for us.
Okay, so
What kicks off this whole Sanderson Sisters saga?
we're talking the Salem witch trials,
Yeah.
a time of just intense fear.
Superstition.
Superstition, exactly.
Yeah.
And we meet Thackeray Binks,
Young Thackeray Binks.
right, who becomes so central to the story,
He does.
and his little sister, Emily.
Oh, little Emily.
And well,
Tragedy strikes.
tragedy strikes.
Ugh, that opening.
Oh, I know.
That opening scene gets me every time.
It's so well done.
It is.
It really is.
Even knowing it's coming.
Oh, I know.
I'm like bracing myself. And it still gets me.
Yes.
And there's something about the way they portray the Sanderson sisters, right?
Yes.
Because they're menacing,
Absolutely.
but they're hilarious.
They're so much fun.
How do they do that?
It's such a delicate balance
It is.
that they strike right from the start.
Yeah.
You see the ruthlessness.
Oh, yeah. In their desperation to steal Emily's life force.
It's like they need it
They need it.
to survive, so
To survive.
you almost feel for them, but then
No, but you're killing children.
you're taking her life force.
Exactly.
But then there's that dark humor woven in,
Oh, it's so good.
like right away.
Right from the beginning.
Remember Winnie's line
Oh, tell me.
when they're being captured?
Yes.
I put a spell on you.
Oh, you're going to die. And now you're going to die.
Yes, class
So good.
is so good.
Like, she can't help herself.
she can't help herself.
Even when she's being, like, strung up.
I know, it's fantastic.
He's still got that, like, that wit about her.
Total sass.
Oh, I love it.
You know, they're the villains.
Oh, for sure.
But you can't help but watch.
You love to hate them.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
even as they're facing defeat,
Right. This is it.
this is it for them.
They're about to be hanged by the villagers.
That's over.
But she throws in that prophecy.
She does,
Right.
which is like such a classic horror movie trope,
It is.
but it's done so well. A virgin will light the black flame candle on All Hallows Eve.
On All Hallows Eve.
And the Sanderson sisters shall return.
Chills
Yeah.
every time.
I know.
It sets the stage for the whole movie.
Oh, totally.
And it leaves you with this, like, sense of dread.
You know it's coming,
Oh, yeah.
but you don't know how.
You don't know when
that's gonna happen.
happen. Exactly.
Okay, so fast forward 300 years.
Right.
We're in 1993.
Much different time.
And we meet Max Dennison,
Our protagonist.
Yes.
The skeptic.
our skeptical protagonist.
Yeah.
He's just moved to Salem.
He has.
And he's not buying into the local legends.
Which is, it's interesting, right? Because
Yeah.
we, as the audience,
We just saw it.
we just saw it.
We know
We know the truth.
that it's real.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't.
And that contrast between belief and disbelief
Yes.
becomes so central
Yes.
to this film.
I love that.
It's such a good point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it plays out perfectly right through his relationship with Donnie,
Oh, Donna.
his little sister.
I love her.
She is all about Halloween.
She is the spirit of Halloween.
They have that classic sibling dynamic, don't they?
They do.
You've got the cynical teenager, Max.
Yeah.
And then you've got Donnie.
Who's just like full of life and excitement.
Fearless, imaginative.
The best.
And of course, we can't forget Allison. Oh, Allison.
The cool, mysterious girl who becomes their ally.
Yes, she's great.
She is great. And,
What I love about her
yeah,
is that she provides so much of the exposition
she does.
about the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah.
She grounds this legend
In some kind of reality.
in actual historical context,
Yeah.
which is important
Oh,
because
yeah.
otherwise it would just be this,
Fantastic.
fantastical tale.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have that grounding.
It's nice to, tie it back to something real.
Exactly.
And then, of course, Max being Max.
Trying to impress Allison, right?
It wouldn't be a Hocus Pocus movie without him lighting that black flame candle, would it?
That wouldn't be, no.
It's like, come on, Max, you should know better.
You should know better.
And the setting of that scene, so good.
Tell me about it.
The Sanderson cottage, creepy,
It is perfect.
dilapidated. It's a museum now.
It really is a visual representation, though,
It is.
of how the past,
Yes.
and it's magic, right, can linger into the present.
Absolutely. You just never know
You never know what's lurking.
when those things are going to come back to get you.
Exactly.
And the way they shot that scene,
Oh, it's so good.
so good, right?
Oh,
The flickering candle flames,
Oh, I love
the
it.
Dutch angles, very dramatic.
They really create this palpable sense of unease.
They do. You're like, something's not right here.
Exactly.
Something bad is going to happen.
You just know it.
Okay, so the Sanderson sisters are back.
They're back.
They're understandably confused
So confused.
to be in the 20th century,
How could they not be?
Right.
It's a huge adjustment.
and they're ready to cause some mayhem.
Naturally.
What stood out to you about, this fish out of water aspect of the film?
Oh, the comedy.
The comedy.
It is comedy gold.
It is.
The Sanderson sisters trying to navigate modern technology
It's too funny.
and the slang.
Oh my gosh. The slang.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
But it also, I think it reinforces this idea of them being relics
Oh, yeah.
of a darker, more superstitious time.
Yes. Yes.
Their values and understanding of the world
Yeah.
are completely at odds with 1993 Salem. You're
Right.
like, what is this place?
And it leads to some of the most quotable lines. Come on.
Oh, Fabi.
What is this? A bus.
Oh,
It smells like a sewer.
stop.
You can just hear Bette Midler.
I can hear her in my head right now.
Oh, so good.
It's brilliant.
And that's another thing, right, that makes this movie so enjoyable.
Oh,
The performances.
Phenomenal.
Bette Midler as Winnie. Iconic.
Iconic. There's no other word for it.
But Jessica Parker is Sarah.
Fantastic.
And Kathy Najimy is Mary.
Don't forget her.
Oh, my gosh.
They're all so good.
They're all so good.
They each bring their own brand of comedic genius to
Yeah.
these characters.
They really do. And they elevate this film
They
to
do.
something really special.
Absolutely.
Because it could have been cheesy.
It could have been very cheesy.
It could have been just like, a fun little kid's movie.
Straight to video situation.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
But it's more than that.
It's so much
And
right.
because of them.
Yes.
It's the way they deliver those lines. It's the way
They embody those characters.
they embody those characters. It's fantastic.
So good.
But, it's not all
Yeah.
laughs and slapstick. There are some
Oh, absolutely.
surprisingly poignant moments, too.
Yeah.
Like when Max starts to realize
Oh, yeah.
he'll do anything to protect Donnie.
That's where we see the growth
Right.
in Max.
And even though he's afraid,
He's terrified
he still does it.
because he loves his sister.
He loves his sister.
Oh.
And that's
What elevates it.
it goes.
It elevates this film beyond just being...
Beyond just being a fun Halloween romp,
Exactly.
which it is.
It is that too.
It's fun. It's lighthearted.
It is.
But it has those deeper themes, of family
It does.
and courage
Yeah.
and facing your fears. And those are universal
They are.
and timeless.
Completely. And that's where we really see that character arc
Yes.
with Max.
He starts as this skeptical teenager.
It's like, this is all fake,
Right.
This is bogus.
And then by the end, he's like, okay, I need to protect my sister.
He's stepping up.
I need to do what's right.
He's like, I'm going to fight these witches. I'm going to do it.
He becomes a believer.
He does.
But let's talk about the Sanderson sisters' plan,
Oh, yes.
because they're back.
They're back.
They're adjusting somewhat disastrously, I would say, to modern life.
A little bit of culture shock.
It's a tad.
A tad.
But they're not immortal just yet.
Not yet.
So what's their next move?
Well, they got to make this a more permanent situation, right?
Right, they can't just
They can't just be hanging around,
be hanging around.
dependent on the black flame candle.
Right, right.
So that's where Winnie's spell book comes in.
Yes, the spell book.
So important.
Bound in human skin. Remember that little detail?
Oh, it's so creepy, but also so perfect.
So on brand for them.
Exactly.
Like, of course,
It had to be.
it had to be human skin.
Of course it did.
And speaking of creepy,
Oh, here we go.
we can't forget about
Who could forget?
Billy Butcherson,
Oh, Billy.
Winifred's ex-lover turned zombie.
What a guy.
I love Billy.
He's such a great addition, I think, to the story.
He is
A little scary.
a little scary,
A little tragic.
a little misunderstood,
Yeah, a little misunderstood.
and a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, so much fun.
Thanks to Doug Jones.
Oh, Doug Jones,
Welcome
the
back.
master
Yes,
of
sir.
creature performance.
He really is.
He brings so much
Life to these
with
characters.
these non-human characters.
It's incredible.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
But, Billy,
yes.
he's a great example of how Hocus Pocus blends those horror elements.
It does such a good job of balancing that,
It does.
right?
It could have gone too far.
It could have been too much.
But it doesn't.
It reins it in.
It does.
And it adds that humor, which
Yeah.
makes it, again, approachable.
For everyone.
Exactly.
But back to the Sanderson Sisters plan.
Oh, right.
They need that spell book
Of course.
to become immortal,
They need it.
which Max has.
Big mistake. Max.
Max.
Oh, on now.
So they're chasing him
Natural.
all over Salem.
Gotta love a good chase scene.
It's a classic.
It is.
And it leads to that montage
Oh, yes.
of them trying to blend in.
Trying. Being the operative word.
Yes.
They're not blending.
They're not blending.
They're not sticking out.
They're trying.
Bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts. They're trying to figure out the 20th century.
Which is hilarious.
Like that scene where they stumble upon that Halloween party
Oh, my God.
and they think everyone's dressed like them.
The irony.
I know,
The
it's just-
irony. It's brilliant.
That's so good.
It's so hocus pocus.
It is, and it's so clever.
It is.
Because it plays on that gene.
Those misunderstandings.
That's misunderstanding.
that are just inherent
Yeah.
in these fish out of water stories.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
just, it's perfect.
And it culminates in that musical number.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I Put a Spell on You.
Come on.
Iconic.
Icon.
You cannot talk about Hocus Pocus
Nope.
without mentioning that scene.
It's impossible.
It's so good.
It's so good.
First of all,
yes.
you got the visual humor.
Oh my gosh, the Sanderson sisters.
In their old-fashioned get-ups,
In the middle of a...
surrounded by Madonna
Yes.
and rock stars.
And they're just like, what is happening?
They're like, we fit right in.
This is great.
And then Bette Midler.
Oh.
He just belts it out.
She's a legend.
She's incredible.
There's no one like her.
No one.
No one.
The vocal talent, the stage presence.
She commands that room.
He does.
Even though they're supposed to be afraid of her,
I know.
they're under a spell.
I know, but still,
She's magnetic.
it's amazing.
It's fantastic.
It's campy.
Oh, it's so campy.
It's catchy.
You'll be singing it for days.
It's just pure Hocus Pocus.
It's the epitome of the film.
It is, but it also
Yes.
highlights how dangerous they are.
And that's the thing.
They're not just bumbling
They're not harmless.
witches.
No, right?
They're powerful sorceresses.
Yes,
The-
with a capital US.
Yes.
They are not messing around.
And they use their magic to enchant the whole room.
I do.
They almost succeed
I know.
in their plan to drain the life force
That was a close one.
of those party goers.
Almost became a massacre.
So it's like, even though it's funny,
Right.
there's
That underlying threat.
which I think is important.
It's so important.
to keep the stakes high.
Exactly.
And speaking of high stakes,
Oh, here we go.
the climax of the film takes place in the cemetery.
Where else would it be?
Classic horror movie setting.
Of course.
You've got the kids with Thackeray Binks by their side,
The gang's all here.
facing off against the Sanderson sisters. Billy, a whole lot of magic.
It's a showdown.
It's a showdown for the ages.
The ages.
And I love how they incorporate those classic horror elements.
Yes.
Like you said, the cemetery,
Spooky.
the rising sun,
Oh.
the hallowed ground,
Love it.
but with that Hocus Pocus twist.
There it is.
Like when Winnie tries to fly on a vacuum cleaner
Instead of a broomstick.
instead of a broomstick, iconic.
It's brilliant.
So good. Why is that so funny?
They don't know.
It's so good.
It's so unexpected.
And those little details
They make all the difference.
that make this movie so rewatchable.
Absolutely.
You pick up on something new every time.
Every single time. It really leans into that kind of almost slapstick
Yeah.
humor at times.
It does.
But it works.
It does. It does.
Because it never loses that sense of fun, you know?
Exactly. And that's what makes it, I think,
Yes.
so enjoyable for so many people. And like they defeat the Sanderson sisters with a combination of like, you know,
Agreed.
quick thinking,
Yeah.
teamwork.
Teamwork and some well-placed sprinklers.
Oh, the sprinklers.
I mean, come on.
It's so good.
It's classic.
It's classic good versus evil,
It is.
but with that Hocus Pocus spin.
Yes,
They
exactly.
always put that little twist on it,
They do.
which makes it unique.
And I think that's what, speaking of unique,
Yes,
that's what keeps people coming back to Hocus Pocus
it's true.
year after year.
Year after year.
Because it's more than just a movie.
It's a cultural event.
It's an event. It's a tradition.
It's become a tradition.
It's like essential Halloween viewing.
Absolutely.
You know, you have to watch it
You have to.
every year.
It's like putting up the decorations.
Why do you think that is?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What is it about this film?
Well, for one, you've got that nostalgia factor, right?
For sure.
Anyone who grew up watching this,
Yes.
it takes them back.
Instant to that. That childhood wonder.
It's that Halloween magic.
The excitement around Halloween.
Yes.
The leaves are changing. There's a chill in the air.
You get that cozy feeling.
Exactly.
You put on Hocus Pocus.
It's like a warm blanket.
It is.
On a chilly October night.
And there's something about, you're right, the nostalgia.
Yeah.
But it's also just...
It's so familiar.
It's so familiar.
You know what's going to happen.
You do?
You know those Sanderson sisters?
They're going to be up to no good.
They're going to cause trouble.
Max, Danny, and Allison are going to save the day.
They're going to figure it out.
You know there's going to be a healthy dose of humor.
Always.
Mixed in with the scares.
Exactly.
It's that perfect blend.
That perfect recipe.
It is. It's that recipe
For a good time.
that works so well for families.
It's true. It's fun for all ages.
And it's quotable.
Ah, so quotable.
Oh, come on!
Give me some quotes.
Sisters form a calming circle.
Yes. Amuck, amuck, amuck.
Classic.
How can you not? I say that to my dog sometimes.
I do too.
I'm not even kidding.
It's become
It's true.
ingrained in our pop culture.
Absolutely.
People quote it. They dress up like these characters
Oh, yeah.
for Halloween.
Every year.
It's the most popular
It's iconic.
costume inspiration for parties.
Decorations.
Oh, I love it.
That's everywhere.
I love seeing it pop up.
Me too.
And you know what? We can't forget
Oh,
that post-credit scene
yes.
with the spell book.
Don't tell me.
The eye opens. I mean, come
You
on.
could.
Such a perfectly mischievous,
I know.
like, little button
It's like a little wink
on the whole
to
thing.
the audience.
Like, we're not done yet.
Could there be more?
Watch
Less
Jim.
bark.
And then, of course, we got a sequel.
We did.
Right,
We had to wait a while, but it happened.
We waited. But it was worth it.
It was worth the wait.
It was. Hocus Pocus. It's become this phenomenon.
It truly has.
This beloved Halloween classic
A classic for a reason.
that just continues to enchant
Yes.
new generations.
And it'll continue to do so.
It will.
It's timeless.
It's timeless.
Like the Sanderson sisters themselves.
And I think it's a testament to the power of good storytelling.
Absolutely.
Memorable characters.
That's such.
And, of course, a healthy dose
Gotta have it.
of Halloween magic.
The most important ingredient.
The most important ingredient. I love it.
There you go.
Well, there you have it.
Another deep dive.
Our deep dive into the whimsical and utterly delightful world
I love it.
of Hocus Pocus.
That's a good one.
It's more than just a movie.
It really is.
It's a Halloween institution.
I wholeheartedly agree.
A big thank you to everyone for joining us
Thanks for having me.
on this trip back to Salem.
Always a pleasure.
And of course, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe
Do it.
for more deep dives into your favorite films.
Until next time.
Until next time.